Hello, my name is Cece Doucette, and for several years I used to run fundraising campaigns in my public school district to bring wireless technology into our classrooms. Then an electrical engineer friend let me know that there could be biological effects from the emissions that come out of all of our wireless technology. So I began to investigate, and I discovered there are thousands of studies all over the world that indicate that wireless radiation has biological effects at the non-thermal, low-level, non-ionizing area. So I began to speak to our school district about this, and we have become the first in the nation to put into place best practices for mobile devices. We want to protect our children, and we want to protect our staff by turning off Wi-Fi in the classrooms, turning off the devices that all have antennas that emit electromagnetic radiation, and keeping devices off of our bodies. So what we did is very unique. However, we are now starting to see laws come into play to begin educating the public about the need to take precautions around electromagnetic radiation emitted by all of our wireless devices. If you look at the science, the non-industry funded science in particular, you will see that it is being tied to brain cancer, heart tumors, DNA damage, autism, Alzheimer's, as well as a host of other symptoms that people may be feeling today and have never made the connection that it could be caused by their wireless technology. That includes headaches, insomnia, the racing heart. It could be skin problems, it could be dizziness, it could be nausea, it could be the social and emotional problems that come along with this, it could be anxiety or depression. And our doctors have not yet been trained in this, so when people go to the doctors and get tested, the tests that they run, the doctors are unable to pinpoint what is causing these symptoms. But the good news is that we can alleviate a lot of these symptoms if we simply reduce the amount of electromagnetic radiation in our living, working, and leisure spaces. So choose hardwired technology over wireless when you can, and when you can't, just use your device in active mode when you need to send and receive data. Otherwise, keep it in airplane mode, and you can still use it as an alarm clock, you can still use it as a camera, or to look at materials that you've downloaded onto your device. The reason why I'm speaking with you today is that the FCC and the telecommunications industry is putting two bills before the United States Senate to vote on. One of them would help to set up the infrastructure for 5G technology, and the other one would start to lay out what the standards are for the Internet of Things. The reason why these would not be healthy for our citizens is this. All of our cell towers operate off of 3G and 4G technology. 5G technology will be using a different spectrum in the electromagnetic radiation spectrum. The earlier technologies use microwave radiation. These will use millimeter radiation. And the reason why that is not biologically safe is already evidenced in thousands of studies all over the world. Right now, we have cell towers mounted on buildings, on structures, and on towers. But with 5G technology, the industry would like to see us put up small cell antennas or distributed antenna systems throughout our neighborhoods. 5G technology will carry vast quantities of data at high speeds, but they can't carry it very far. So the industry would like to put small cell antennas right outside our homes, every 4 to 12 homes in densely populated areas, and in rural areas on every home. And this would literally put microwave and millimeter wave radiation right outside of our sleeping areas. We especially need to protect our sleep because that's when our bodies need to do their cell repair and regeneration, and we have ample studies showing that this light form energy of radiation interferes with our body's ability to do that type of repair and regeneration while we sleep. So I am with you today to explain that last year, the U.S. National Toxicology Program began to report out findings from a $25 million multi-year study that showed DNA damage, brain and heart tumors. And as soon as that came out, the industry and Tom Wheeler, who was our exiting FCC chairman, went before Congress and got approval for this 5G millimeter spectrum without informing them of the biological harm. In 2015, Harvard University put out a report called Captured Agency that talks us through how the FCC and the industry have worked together to put out all of this wireless technology using only engineering standards without taking into effect the research that today from our scientists and doctors and public health experts indicates that this is biologically hazardous. So we are asking you today to reach out to your senators and ask them to please vote no on these two bills. Vote no on the Mobile Now Act, which is S.19, and the Digit Act, which is S.88. Ask your legislators to forbid those bills from going through and to hold public hearings where our scientists, our doctors, and our environmental specialists can say what today's science is finding and that it is biologically harmful, and we should not be installing these devices in our neighborhoods. You can go to usa.gov, elected-officials, and you will be able to link into your representatives up in DC and tell them that we need to protect the public. Children, the elderly, fetuses, and those with known health conditions are especially vulnerable to this type of radiation, and it's not great for the rest of us either. So please, I know this is a bit of a mind bender to think all of our electromagnetic radiation that's coming out of our Wi-Fi devices could be harming us, but there literally are thousands upon thousands of studies to show. When we were dealing with lead, we were at the point of having 10,000 studies under our belt before our government took action to protect the public from lead. Today, we're at nearly 24,000 studies on electromagnetic radiation that are showing biological harm. If you would like to do further research, please go out to YouTube and you can Google my name, Cece Doucette, and there's a 5-part series that's now airing on cable stations called The Dangers of Wi-Fi. It will talk you through more thoroughly what this issue is, and under each video of those 5 parts, you will find links to documents that will give you the science and give you the evidence to understand that we need to be especially careful with this sort of technology. Thank you very much for your time and attention, and please, today, contact your senators in DC because they will be voting on this any day now. Thank you for your time and consideration.